Alright, here we go. I see there's a couple people watching already. It's cool. Good morning, everyone. For those who've tuned in, I am sorry you've tuned in to the most rookie amateur streamer possible. Oh, on that note, I have forgotten something. One moment. I will need another wheel at some point, so I want to have it nearby to be ready to switch over. Okay, so we're just going to get right into this, because I've got an Easter dinner to get to later, and 85 laps is not going to go quickly. And I am going to do qualifying in, well, I'll probably end up doing qualifying in all the sims. Okay, so NASCAR Racing 2003. Played a little bit of it recently. I never really touched it back in the day at all. Not a big NASCAR fan in general. But saw some videos on it recently, considering it's now 10 years old. There's people sort of doing like highlights of it or revisiting it because it was actually quite good, or quite it had a huge following, and even still does have a huge following. Hence why there's 2023 IndyCar mod for a game from a decade, 2 decades ago. My goodness. Anyways, so as you can see, I can switch the series over to shows 2020 IndyCar. The car was made for the 2020 season, but people have made the 2023 liveries, at least based off of the pre-season liveries. But it's pretty fun. There's some definitely some nuances. I was trying Circuit of the Americas last night, so let's switch over to Long Beach. This is the 2010 layout. I don't know all the changes that have been made to the fountain area of the track. But it does feel different from the layout in RF2 and AMS2. So it's either a little bit inaccurate or they've changed the layout over the years. I'm going to turn down the pit stop frequency just a little bit. I'm hoping AI at 95% puts up a bit of a challenge, because at 90% they were a little bit too easy. So let's get right into this. Back to the game itself. The mods for this are actually quite shocking. Like someone's modded like a sound pack for this, because normally no matter what mod you use, it'll just run the NASCAR engine sounds. But someone made an IndyCar sound mod you can actually hear when coming down the pit lane right now. They sound pretty good. I mean, it's a little crackly. I feel like that's sort of the nature of these old papyrus sims. The first racing sim I ever played and never owned, well, my dad owned it. I was a very young child at the time, but IndyCar Racing 2, which is one of Papyrus's earlier titles, and another very popular one that still has a shockingly large following even today. And has I remember watching a GP Laps video a year or two ago, and he was like reviewing a mod for a track that had just come out that week or something crazy like that. Like, there's people still modding these ancient games, and you know, why not? They're not that bad. They're pretty good. Before we even start driving, you know what? No, I'm just going to start driving. However, just to keep the show rolling, I'm just going to skip right to qualifying. But what I was going to say was, am I going to get drowned out by this game? This game's pretty loud. Let me just turn down the game audio a little bit in OBS. That seems a little better. If someone sounds off in the chat and they can't hear me, just say so in chat and I'll adjust the levels accordingly. Yeah, we have the car physics. To me, I don't know if it feels quite like... ooh, I only get one qualifying lap. Doesn't feel quite like an open wheel car. Oh yeah, I guess we're using NASCAR type qualifying that they would use on I'm not going to get any practice in this track at all. So like they would do in NASCAR, and just 1 or 2 laps of qualifying. Anyways, I keep getting sidetracked of what I was going to say. The physics doesn't quite feel like proper open wheel handling. I think it's mainly because the physics are edited from NASCAR physics. The cars seem a little bit body rolly. I don't know how much front downforce, if any, this game simulates. But in reality, the game does feel pretty good, and I tried to do a quarter length race at Street to St. Petersburg, since that's where they were 2 races ago now. There's a couple other things that are left over from NASCAR, like racing to the yellow line, which I don't think they do in real life anymore. Someone can tell me in the comments if they're familiar with NASCAR rules, because I'm not. Okay, I'm going to put my head down and try and get a decent qualifying lap in. Maybe it'll be garbage. That's one thing I like about the sim, is the pit radio is kind of cool. Ooh, sliding out a little wide. This turn 1's very similar, but it's just not quite the same as what it is in the other sims I've played this track on. And same with this corner here. I feel like it's a little bit more squared off, and it's also missing the big curbing on the inside. But otherwise, the rest of this track is not too badly modded. Missing every apex under the sun. Definitely getting a healthy amount of understeer. And I am racing with damage on, so I do suspect if it goes like the race I did in St. Petersburg, I will likely have a massive crash and have to limp it back to the pits. If I crash out completely and can't make it back to the pits in any of the sims, what I'll do, I'll just move on to the next sim, unless it happens in like the first lap or something like that. Alright, how do we qualify? Dead last. Okay. I don't know. Is there anything I want to change to the setup? I'm sure there's lots of things I could do, but again, the setup is like weight bias, and wedge, and all that kind of stuff. I am gonna just move that front bias a little, or that, yeah, a little further forward, so a little more weight over those front wheels, because it's just understeering like crazy. I can almost shorten the gear ratios, because I don't even know if I got up to 6th gear at any point, except for maybe on the front straightaway. No, I want taller gears. I hope I didn't ruin that. I guess we'll find out. Front spoiler as low as it goes already, yeah. I'll just bump up the rear just to... Yeah, let's not go a ½ inch, let's go a 1/4 inch higher. And let's get a little bit more negative camber. Heck, let's go a fair bit more negative camber. Okay, this probably sucks, but I was able to fight for positions when I tried Street to St. Petersburg. Nope, no, wrong button. Okay. Long Beach, Indy, Showdown. With a capital D in there because I am using a tiny little keyboard. And my fat fingers pressed it down. Okay, here we go. Full rolling start. Oh. I hit drive. Oh, my favorite part of North American motorsports. Woo! I don't know. It's so tacky. It is. Watching some NASCAR highlights, I was just again curious about NASCAR running at COTA, and I watched the highlights of the COTA NASCAR race, which was an absolute disaster. But the person saying drivers start your engines, my goodness, it is. I don't know, frustratingly awkward, and it's just so silly. There's a problem with this. Everyone's on the oval layout. Okay, one moment. I better make sure I'm not on the oval layout as well. I won't bother doing a qualifying lap again because I can just skip and just keep the same qualifying spot. I should be in Pato Awards car. That's the one I was after. Yes, that is Pato Awards car. That's good. But let's give them a road course setup. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, I was not dead last. I was second last. Oh well. One thing with this game, the force feedback, yeah, it has force feedback in the game that old. No, it's not bad, but it doesn't do like all the minute details of like the road surface. Excuse me. It's more just the forces on the steering. So because of that, I find the force feedback to be quite heavy, or the steering to be quite heavy, which I guess for an Indy car is pretty accurate because they don't have power steering like F1 does. Not that F1 steering isn't heavy. I've seen like the weight training that some of the F1 drivers do. So if I remember correctly, we're actually going to get green flag, or I'm trying to remember which sim. There's a couple sims where because the way the formation lap ends up going, the AI is at the starting line when we're nowhere near the starting line at the back of the grid, and we get green flag like somewhere back here. That might have been AMS2 though. Alright, we'll find out. I suppose even though I'm the only one on this back row, I should technically stay in my lane, so I will. Alright, here we go. Let's see what kind of carnage there is in the hairpin if we get green flag right now. Nope, we're going to get around the hairpin at least. Oh! Whew. A little drama early on. And I don't have my setup. Oh well. Well, I guess I saved the setup. Nah, I'm not going through the formation lab process again. I won't make you guys sit through that. So one thing I've excuse me, sorry. One thing I've noticed with this compared to some modern sims, sorry, I find the AI don't make a lot of mistakes. They're pretty perfect. They don't crash like ever. Which is going to make it quite challenging for me. And for those of you that might not be aware, the people, when Papyrus, the company, shut down, a lot of the members from that team went on to make iRacing. Oh, there is a mistake from the AI. Someone touched the wall there. Yeah, they went on to make iRacing. And there's definitely some things from NR2k3 that I've heard have made it into iRacing. Like apparently, like the source code for iRacing. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone does know, but from what I understand, is essentially based off of this game. Like this was used as the starting point for iRacing. Which, I mean, yeah, this game is 20 years old now. But iRacing came out in like 2008 or 9, so this game wasn't near as old at the time, so I think that's entirely plausible. One of the things that I feel like made it is what I just demonstrated, coming through the corner, not the second spin out, but the first one. When you get into a slide, it being incredibly hard to catch, and I understand that is, at least up until recently, unless I'm wrong and they haven't made it better, but trying to catch a slide is near impossible with the tire model. And yeah, if the car gets sideways in NR2k3, yeah, it's very difficult to catch. Especially when oval racing. I haven't done a lot of oval racing in it yet, but man, if the backhand steps out, good luck. Since IndyCar went to Texas last weekend, I was trying a little bit of racing on the Texas oval in this, and man, was it challenging. I could get the lap times of the AI, but I just was so inconsistent. And trying to come off of the oval down into the pit lane, it was like a 50-50 chance whether I don't spin out and crash on the pit wall. I hope I see that those AI again, otherwise this is going to be a long, boring race. I think I wasn't going to do this, but I think I need to restart this and make those setup changes that I made before. How do I load a setup in this? Oh, I do have it here. Okay. Well, let's just drop that ride height back down a little bit. Soften that up just a smidge. And I'm sorry, everyone, but we're going to do this one last time. If it goes absolutely horribly wrong, we'll just move on to R-Factor 2. And I'll just concentrate a little more. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me on track by myself for... Ooh, that's going to be a hefty chunk of time if I didn't restart. If I never caught up to them. I get so sloppy when I'm by myself on the racetrack, as some of you may know. Oops. That didn't happen. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I just seem to remember hearing it somewhere. Just making a talking point. I seem to remember hearing that this game is based off of the physics engine from Grand Prix Legends. Or at least the game engine. Maybe the physics are completely reworked for it. Visually, I can see it. It definitely looks like Grand Prix Legends graphics. But the physics don't feel like Grand Prix Legends. Grand Prix Legends physics are absolutely phenomenal. And that's another one of Papyrus's earlier games. From 1998, so not much earlier. I got nowhere to go. Didn't quite make contact there, but it was darn close. Oh, man, I wish I could remember the names of these drivers here. This is also, I think, a mix of 2020 liveries and 2022 liveries. Because I basically just added the 23 liveries onto the 2022... Sorry, 2020 car set. That gain bridge on the right, I believe, is Colton Herta, but I'm not certain. Do I dare? I'm not gonna make that stick before the corner. Sorry for the lack of commentary. I'm just trying to concentrate a little bit more this time so I don't create a boring stream again by crashing and leaving myself in no man's land. There's that traction loss that's hard to regain control of. Creeping up on me again. Okay. I know you can take that corner flat in this game. I've done it. But you can't take it flat as easily as you can in the other sims, that's for sure. Again, I think that's just due to this being a nature of a modded NASCAR game, so the physics aren't quite there for open wheel cars. Really though, it's not. I don't feel like it's that bad. I wouldn't discount it. I mean, it's considering the price for this game. It's free to download, by the way, because it's abandonware. So you can go to. I got it off of. Oh wait, no, I didn't get it off of my abandonware. So it's on the website My Abandonware, but because it is abandonware, some of the modding community has made a one-click download to download everything you need to get it set up on a modern computer without needing to go through all the process of. Jeez, not good, not good. Whoo, this might be yeah. The engine up front is smoking. Again, quirks of it being a modded NASCAR game. They've. Oh really? Oh jeez, this is not good. This is not good. I can see, and by that I mean I can't see. Oh man. And after that crash, I completely lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was saying earlier.
under 3,500 in seconds. Sit tight. This is going to take a while. We'll give you a half can of fuel.
Okay. I do really like the pit stop animations in this game. Completely inaccurate for IndyCar. This is very much a NASCAR pit stop that they're doing. But kind of cool. Well then. I only made it 4 laps in. 3 laps. Until I had an accident. Well, yeah, 3 laps before I had an accident. I like how they were just pounding out the damage with hammers, apparently. I'm gonna be 2 laps down here. This is not gonna be good.
Go, go, go.
Oh, okay.
Keep it under 50. Keep it under 3,500 in seconds.
Ooh.
Watch your speed. Keep it on 3,500 in seconds.
No pit speed limiter in this game.
Okay, you're clear of pit lane.
See if I got a penalty for that or not. This game's actually pretty forgiving. If you go over, but you're right back under. Yeah, no pit speed limiter, so. And yeah, pretty forgiving if you get. You keep distracting me. Oh, here comes Scott Dixon. Yeah, if you're right back under the pit speed limit, pretty promptly, it seems like you don't get a penalty. And Roman Grosjean. I haven't really been. Oh my goodness.
The yellow flag is out.
Maybe it'll let me unlap myself.
You all right? Stay on the left. All right.
I love the pit radio stuff that they've added.
Clear.
Oh my goodness.
Clear. Okay, we're under caution. Stay behind the 22 car.
Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous.
10 car.
I don't want to just write this game off this early into the race, but man, the AI just punted me twice.
Past the 21 car.
Okay. Just for the sake of not completely abandoning this game, I'll put the AI back down to the speed they were at when I could race with them. We're going to skip the pace lap, just to get right back into it a little quicker. Let's see, do I have the setup I want? I do. Ah, man. I really don't want to have to restart this race over and over and over again. So, one last chance. One last chance.
Pace car's in.
And then we'll move on to RF2 if things go south big time.
Free flag. Green, green, green. Oh man, they're showing us a black flag. They say you passed on the inside before the start-finish line. They're gonna make us do a stop and go.
Okay. I was figuring it was probably going to be a rule, but I figured I'd chance it. Now I know. I was playing it cautious earlier to not do that, just in case. But now I know for sure that you cannot pass before the starting line.
Pace car's in.
Excuse me. I know, I don't think AMS2 enforces that rule, so.
Free flag. Green, green, green.
Oh! That's gonna be a yellow flag.
Yellow flag is out.
Oh, and it's race to the yellow. Or racing to the line, I should say. Let's see if we can make up a position, get some positions up for the green flag restart. Racing to the line on a road course. Such a stupid idea. I mean, like I said, I do believe they've abolished it in NASCAR on the ovals as well, so rightfully so. It just seems so incredibly dangerous.
Left side.
But
Keep to the right.
we'll play by those rules, because that's what's in this game.
Left side. Still there. Keep to the right.
That may be Colton Herta there. Oh boy. I want that position.
Okay, we're under caution. Stay behind the 4 car.
See how many yellow flag laps it's going to give us. So I play a lot of Assetto Corsa. I've not included in this list because the IndyCar mod worth having for Assetto Corsa, I'm pretty sure is a paid mod. I have one of that developers. The one I'm picturing is the VRC, Virtual Racing Cars, modding teams IndyCar mods. I have their Kart 98 mod, and it is absolutely fantastic. But I've opted not to include it in this because the point of this this showdown between the three sims is the three of them have free mods available. And yeah, no, RF2 also has a official paid DLC for this generation of IndyCar, which I've heard is very good. I have not tried it myself, but also Assetto Corsa doesn't do this. It doesn't do flag rules. It doesn't do rolling starts, which IndyCar does. I was this close to maybe throwing IndyCar Racing 2 into the mix for today's stream, but that game's a little bit old. I love it. I wonder if anyone's going to take advantage of the pit lane being open. I don't think I will. Well, a couple people are. Looks like we're going another lap of yellow. Again, I think this is a NASCAR thing. 2 laps under yellow for the instant, like it was on an oval, seems pretty reasonable. But I mean, that incident was cleared pretty promptly after they called the safety car. In real life, they might have not even called the safety car unless there was debris on the track, of course. Okay. Going green. Yeah, this game even has like an actual safety car, like I guess RF2 does also, but I just think it's really cool. Oh. Double file restarts, like, well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, like NASCAR. And we're back to single file? Okay. But yeah, back to what I was saying before. Assetto Corsa doesn't have the flag rules or rolling starts and stuff, so I just chose to omit it. Alright, I got sidetracked with mentioning IndyCar Racing 2. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a modern IndyCar mod for IndyCar Racing 2. Some of these modders for these classic games are crazy. With how, like, on that note, speaking of how crazy these modders are for these classic games, this 2023 car set was out the day before the first IndyCar race of the year. Like, absolutely nuts. Oh, it's not beating me to the line. Don't need another black flag. Tires are definitely a little cold after that yellow flag lap. Should have done a little bit of weaving. Well, I gained 10 positions in that turn 1 incident. I think we're gonna get, I assume, Colton Herta. Ooh, no, not quite. Not gonna get him. Not gonna get him. Oh, there's that uncontrollable slide thing that this game does. Oh, it doesn't handle the same. Doesn't handle the same. See if I can stay on the inside of him for the hairpin here. I have nowhere to go. One thing that I know everyone does I shouldn't say everyone, a popular thing to do in racing sims is to crank up the tire volume so you can hear it over the engine sounds a little bit better. Just so you can tell when you're losing traction a little sooner. You don't get as much control over that in this game, which I do think would help with how unforgiving the tire model is. I can hear the tires, but I feel like by the time I've heard them, it's too late. I've already lost control. Losing ground to my clone up there. That looks like another Pato Award car. Oh, Colton. Or, no, that's not Colton Herta. Oh my goodness. Oh man, the AI in this game. Oh, man. If this drive's okay.
Okay, we're under caution. Stay behind the 98 car.
Then maybe I can get the... they're going to repair damage in pit lane, though. Which is going to take freaking forever. I just got pounded by the other AI drivers coming out of the hairpin there. Surprisingly, drives okay. I think I'm going to stay out. Something tells me he's... Oh! Jeez.
We got trouble in turn 7. You alright?
Not really. AI just plowed into the wall in front of me.
You got some kind of engine problem there. We got a lot of damage. Yeah, buddy, you trashed that motherfucker.
It's not my fault, I swear. Well, it took us a while to get the ball rolling on this sim, but it was going pretty well for a little while there, but oh man, I do kind of like the yellow flag procedure, apart from the fact that you have to race to the line. I think that's takes away from it a little bit. While we're still under yellow here, because we're going to have another yellow flag lap, I'm pretty sure.
We'll fill you up.
Repair. No. How do I make it not repair? It's probably safe to assume there's going to be another safety car at some point, so
We're going green next time by.
okay. Let's get that menu back up. Well, the cars are quite robust in this. That should have been like instant DNF with the way that accident played out. I wish I could just disable the damage repair because the car is handling not bad. In fact, I'm not even sure it's affected at all. Maybe I lost a little bit of downforce or something, because they did say earlier that I beat the crap out of the rear end, or beat the snot out of the rear end, however you worded it. That audio line was definitely added into the game with this car pack, because that's not there when you race with the NASCARs. That's a... Okay, that's where the pace car goes in. That's interesting. Alright, we're up to third.
Green, green, green. Right side.
Wow! My pit wall is a bunch of savages.
Keep to the left.
I mean, maybe they're not wrong. Especially considering I just got overtook by a whole heap of drivers on the restart. But come on, man, I was up to third. Due to safety car restarts and me not pitting, but... Third is third, man. Oh! Okay, they're everywhere, I get it.
Right side. Keep to the left. Stay on the left.
Man, I'm just getting passed left, right, and center.
Right. Stay on the left. Clear. Right side. Keep to the left. Clear. Clear. Keep digging. Car left. Clear on the left. Left side. Clear on the left.
Oh, you just cannot catch a slide in this game. I think that's me down to the back of the grid again. I'm not in last, okay. Man, that slide, excuse me, that slide was just not catchable. Like, not at all. Like, if you've exceeded the limits of the tire's traction, it's game over. Everything up until that point, I do quite like the feeling of this sim. But not being able to catch the slides is so infuriating. Like, we're halfway through the race now. I don't think... I mean, maybe I can catch back up to the grid. So I'm going to keep pushing for now. Like, that one I caught. So I suppose they can be caught. But that was a very subtle slide. That's a bigger one. Ooh. And that's kind of where I feel like it feels like the NASCAR physics are still remaining. Like a slide like that, it feels like the car is a lot heavier than it is. Like it feels like a big steel full-bodied car in the situations where you do catch the slides. A little lethargic, especially for an open wheel, nimble car that races primarily on street circuits. And no pit speed limiter is a downside to this. No push to pass system either. I don't even know if I'm going to end up using that today, because I don't know if the AI are programmed to do so. If I do use it, it'll probably be in AMS2. Mainly because I don't think I have a button at an RF2 for that. Yikes. With this sim, I don't think that was enough content to do any significant damage. I thought for sure I would have needed to do a pit stop by now. One could argue I do need to take a pit stop because of the damage, but I just know it's going to be a long pit stop, so if I can make it to the finish, that's awesome. I don't think the sim has, on the note of pit stops, I don't think the sim has multiple tire compounds like they'd use in real life in IndyCar. And because the game is primarily oval racing, I don't think there's... I shouldn't say I don't think, I'm quite certain there's no rain. Despite it looking a little rainy in the sky on this particular race. I do know that there is weather, so I think it mainly affects the track temperature and ambient temperature. Maybe that's it. Touch that wall in the same spot. I see someone else is joining the stream. Hello, thanks for tuning in. Ten laps to go.
Just 10 more to go.
I just said that. The yellow flag would be nice. I'd like to catch back up to the pack. But like I was saying earlier on, now I said that the AI never make mistakes. Obviously, that's not the case because we did get a full course caution with safety car and everything. The first one strictly due to the AI having their own mistake on turn 1 of lap 1. It's like a Melbourne all over again. Second one. Now, I know I got sent into the wall by the AI, but is that what happened first, or did I make a mistake on my own and then get plowed into the AI? Oh, here comes position 22 reeling me in quick. I'm going to have to start playing some defense here if I want to keep this position. And oh my goodness. That's the third time or fourth, I've lost count, I've had the AI just plow into the back of me. I won't entirely pin that on the game. Just having made some mod tracks for a couple different sims myself, never made one for this sim. Just with the way AI lines are made, I do think it's plausible that that is just strictly due to the AI line for this particular track, but I'm not going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I do think the AI and the sim are just too aggressive for this style of racing. Because I have been plowed into the back of my car in more than one section of the track now. Not only under green flag, but before this last restart, I'm pretty sure I got plowed into the back of my car under full course caution. So, yes, this is cool that you can race the modern day Indy cars on a game from 20 years ago. But really, I think it's a bit of a novelty. And I'm calling it there. That is a DNF, we're going to call it. No. That is race over for us. After that last punt from the AI, I'm calling it quits there. Okay, so let's go back. And back. Okay, NASCAR 2003. That's loud. Well, it's loud for me, looking at the wavelength over there. Bloop. Let's do that. Okay, NASCAR 2003. Let's bring this whiteboard back up here. Positives. Formation lap and rolling start. Yellow flag restarts. Although incorrect, I'm going to give it a point for the pit stops. Because although it's the NASCAR pit stop animations, I do like it. It's just, maybe that's me coming from playing a lot of Assetto Corsa. I guess RF2 also. There's just no pit crew animations at all. You get the guy with the popsicle stick in Assetto Corsa, but that's kind of it. Oh, wait a minute. No. There is actual pit crew members in Assetto Corsa. By the way, the animation here is actually pretty good, despite it being a NASCAR style pit stop with the side jacks and then the 5 lugs of choo 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 choo. And the wheel comes out. Sorry for the sound effects. But the novelty of it's pretty cool. I'm just pulling things out of my ass now to try and get some more points because I've got a lot of negatives to say about it. That music was supposed to loop. Is there something else I can give it? No, I was going to give it a point because there's proper oval rules, but we're not doing ovals today, so it's hard to give it a point for that when that's not what I'm doing. Okay, now for the negatives. Aggressive AI. Way too aggressive AI. I should almost give it 2 points for that because it just ruined my race a couple times. Crashing into me on the yellow flag is the biggest reason I'm giving that. It could be argued that I'm driving it pretty cautiously because I don't feel confident in the physics. Point for the tire model just having uncontrollable slides. But yeah, because I'm being a little extra cautious going into the corners, I got punted on more than one occasion. So, and then also that one time where I spun out of the hairpin and I got plowed into by, I had lost count of how many I got run into. I know. Let's give it one more point. For the spotter and the pit radio, it is a lot of fun, and the extra audio that they put in there with the although it doesn't bother me, but it is a little vulgar, so maybe not kid friendly if you're wanting to play some Indy Here games with your kids, if that's something you guys are doing. But I don't know, it's cool. It's a cool novelty. AI tire model. Oh, and then the racing to the yellow, that's no good. So we're going to give this a messy upside down 2, because that's the total for NASCAR Racing 2003. Moving on to R Factor 2. Alright, so I don't play a lot of R Factor 2 at home. I do like it quite a bit. You know, all the usual things people say about R Factor 2. It's difficult UI. I've got a hole in my glove. I mean, these aren't proper racing gloves anyways. But I knew that would happen at some point. I guess IndyCar is what did it in. Yeah, complicated UI. Not a lot of people playing it these days, I feel like. However, I do feel like it's had a bit of a resurgence lately, despite all the negative publicity. Some of it deserves, some of it not. Overall, it is a pretty solid sim. I do enjoy it. I should play more of it at home. But and speaking of playing more of it, not speaking of playing more of it, I don't know why I started the sentence that way. But the official IndyCar DLC is something I think is worth checking out just based on what I've heard. I have not tried it. This mod is not bad from the little bit I've played of it. It's definitely good on the oval. I found the baseline setup to be quite slippery on the road course car, so I did tweak it a little bit. But yeah, I've heard the paid DLC is quite good. I've yet to try it. I was thinking about getting it for this video, but I'm like, no, let's stick to free mods. Excuse me. Damage. I got damage on 50% because I know how slippery I find these cars. I'm also not using the 2022 liveries. I believe I'm using the 2021 liveries. I could just go check. No, I'm using the 2020 liveries. Okay. Right, because I tried the 2021s. Sorry, this is 2020. I tried the 2021, and the first time I loaded it, the car models didn't load in. They would let me race, but it was just like my view was just the colliders of the tires being visible, and all the AI components was like a yellow blob. Showing the collision detection zones for the AI cars, but the car models themselves were not loaded. So, anyways, so we are doing 30 laps here. My goodness. And rolling starts good. Let's not do random. We'll do qualifying. I'm going to treat qualifying as a bit of a practice session for me, just to get used to the physics. So I'll give myself 10 allowed laps. Excuse me. And I'm going to do 3 times real-time road scale because this is going to be approximately a third of the race, so I think that seems fair. I'm going to go naturally progressing. I'm a little lost in setting up races this way in RF2. It's been a little while since I've gone this in depth into setting up. Race rules, is there like full course caution settings here? Flag rules, full, there we go, yep. It's pretty safe to assume we're going to get a full course caution at some point. Last time I did a race, this is actually one of the videos I did a while ago, back when I tried to do I think I did like a half length Formula E race. And I restarted that race I don't know how many times, because every single time, first or second lap through the chicane on that track, the AI just piled up into each other and it was full course caution. And it was like 3 laps of safety car before it got cleared. It's like, no, this is so bad. I wasn't streaming that, I just recorded it manually, so which should have taken like maybe an hour to record. I think it took me like 3 or 4 hours to record because of all the restarts I did. It was so frustrating. So yeah, because of that, I do expect we're going to get some full course cautions here. But it's kind of good because I haven't started using that as one of the criteria I'm ranking these with. Are we right into qualifying? We are. Let's make sure I'm using my NASCAR Racing 2003 versus AMS2 versus RF2 setup. And there's the session underway. And I am on the alternate tires. This sim does have, let's use that pit speed limiter. Oh, it's on by default. I'm getting it mixed up with AMS2. Whoa! Takuma Sato's pulling out. Oh man. Off to a lovely start. I don't know if R2 enforces the rules for the blend line coming out of the pit lane. Oh yeah, this is more like what the fountain section should be. But I know Automobilista 2 does enforce the pit lane exit when you cross the blend line too early. It'll penalize you for it. I can't remember if R does or not. It's kind of cool seeing some of the same buildings modeled in this game compared to the way they're modeled in NASCAR Racing 2003. The arrow screen is much more intrusive on my line of sight here than it was in NR2k3. I don't know where the speed limit line is. I didn't know where it was on the exit either, apparently, because I completely blew it. I have no idea where it is. I have no idea where the timing line is. And I will obey the blend line rules, even though I don't know if it's enforced or not in this. Haha, I would not have been able to catch that slide in NASCAR Racing 2003. Overall, this is very, very slippery. Where the heck am I facing? Okay. I thought I was facing this way, and all of a sudden I saw a car coming straight at me. Let's not add fuel. Oh. Not add fuel. Not adding fuel. I'm actually curious if there's other LongBeach track mods out there. Not that this one's bad. It feels overall pretty good, but not having that timing line really kind of spoils it. We got a fast lap in here yet. And by fast, I mean a timed lap. Who knows whether it'll be fast or not. really struggling with the slipperiness of the tires. At least I can catch a slide. I was about to say 1 point for... That's on me. Um, 1 point for this. That's not in NASCAR 2003 is the blue flags. However, I did notice in the race when I was a lap down, my spotter came over the radio saying, "That's the leader coming up behind you." Would it do it for cars other than the leader? My money's on no. But I guess I'd have to go play it some more and find that out. Man, the difference in the physics is night and day difference between the two. Again, I said I don't think the physics are bad in NR 2003, but it's certainly not suited to open wheel racing. Again, a cool novelty to be able to play it in that sim, but certainly not the most realistic experience. Right now, one thing I am missing is the weightiness of the steering in NR 2003. The steering is so incredibly light in this. Like, it's lots of detail coming through the feeling of the road, through the force feedback on the wheel. But I could steer this with my pinky finger. Like, the steering is so light. Whereas in NASCAR 2003, I feel like if I have the force feedback actually turned down in that game because it's so heavy. If I were racing a full race at full force feedback, my arms would legitimately probably be tired. And I'm not using a direct drive wheel. I'm using a Thrustmaster T300, so not the lightest steering force feedback out there, but they do have plenty of force, especially when you get into a sim like that. R-Factor's tire model is shining right now. I can definitely feel those little minor lockups I'm getting are starting to translate into the force feedback feeling. I can feel like the tiny little flat spots, which I know that R-Factor 2 does simulate flat spotted tires, which is very cool. And being able to feel that through the force feedback is one of the reasons why R-Factor, despite being over a decade old now, I think it came out in 2012, I believe anyways, which makes it only 9 years newer than NASCAR 2003. But the fact that they simulate that kind of thing is exactly why people are still playing this sim today. It is fantastic. Starting to get in the groove here with the way the physics feel in this game. And actually, now that the tires are starting to heat up a little bit more, starting to feel the car a little bit more mid-corner. Like, the initial turn-in is still very light. Ooh, a big flat spot from that slide. Yeah, the turn-in is still pretty light, but mid-corner is actually I'm starting to feel a little bit more of the weight in the steering. Because my microphone stand is mounted to the wheel. Sorry, my microphone stand is mounted to the same... It's clamped to the same board that my wheel is clamped to. Yes, board, my racing sim is made out of wood. But I hope that the vibration of the wheel isn't being translated through the microphone stand and coming through the microphone over the stream. I see my camera battery has died, so I'll slap a new battery in there before I start the race. Hopefully I can make this lap stick, because I believe this is my last chance. Lost everything on that corner there. Okay, that's the qualifying time we're getting. I just need to grab a new battery for the camera. One moment. Okay, I'm back. I decided I should get some water in me as well. I was stupid thirsty. So qualified on the back row. I was a second and a bit ahead on that last flying lap before I outbraked myself. So right in front of Ken Johnson and right behind Marco Andretti. I know the name Marco Andretti, obviously, but not familiar with Ken Johnson. A couple of the names I don't recognize there. Obviously, this is, like I was saying earlier, this is the 2020 season. Oh, Sebastian Bourdais? Oh, I'm thinking of Sebastian Buemi. But yeah, Sebastian Bourdais returned to IndyCar, I guess, for a little while anyways. I like Sebastian Bourdais. A very short-lived Formula One career. Oh, let's zoom that camera back out. Santino Ferrucci. Okay. Next session. Here we go. See what we can do. And see if the R-Factor 2 AI does what it likes to do on, at least in my experience, on street circuits, and see if we can maybe get through lap 1 without a full course caution. Where's my reset force feedback button? There it is. Floor mat was sliding away on me. Gotta protect that carpet. Oh man, I just read Husky chocolate in the back of Marcus Ericsson's wing there and just got hungry. I don't know if the spotter is going to be on by default in this track. I feel like it should be, but I have a hunch that it won't be. It's one thing that was nice about NASCAR 2003, having that spotter which is accurate to IndyCar racing. Oh, let's not run into him. That anti-stall is something I'm gonna have to get used to. Andy Stall kicked in right as as soon as they announced green flag. I got hit by that anti-stall and down one position already. Let's break a little extra early because I think the AI might be. Oh, they're going through here pretty tidily, I was gonna say. A bit of a procession around the fountain there. So this game, or well, not just this game, but also this this mod does apparently support the push-to-pass system. I don't have a button mapped for it, so I won't be using it here anyways. Oh, we got a yellow flag. Yellow flag. Are we going to get a full course caution? Can I pass them? Is that allowed? I guess so. No full course caution. Oh, running out of gearing. Could lengthen the gear. Lengthen 6th gear just a little bit at least. I could have done. Oh well. That was a little rough, but no significant damage taken. I don't know if I accelerated fuel use or tire usage. I'm gonna need a pit stop just based on fuel alone anyways. Not right now, obviously. I just mean in general in the race. And probably for tires, man. The flat spots I've gotten already. Oh, yellow flag on the hairpin again. Oh, jeez. Did I turn too tight on the inside? Come on, AI. Ah, man. I'm sure I left tons of room. I don't know if they just started moving when I was still trying to get around them. Not good. That's going to be some big time flat spots. Surprisingly, I still have my front wing. Yeah, I feel like they just kind of drove into me there. I mean, it's not like getting pile drived into the corners like I was in NASCAR 2003. Oh. I was thinking of the hairpin a little too early. As slippery as the car is here, I feel so much more confident in where this car is on track compared to the NASCAR Racing 2003 mod. As I nearly slide into a wall. I go so wide on that hairpin every time. Almost matching fastest lap of the race. I should start gaining some ground back up on the other drivers. I went and downshifted to first gear on turn 1. Definitely don't need first gear there. I almost need first gear through the fountain section. but I just trying to keep a little bit of that wheel spin in check, keeping a gear higher typically through the fountain, and by going in second gear, where I was using first gear in IndyCar, NASCAR Racing 2003. That's a corner where I definitely need first gear. Pretty bumpy in this section of the track. I can hear the car bottoming out and feel it a little bit through the wheel as well. Braked a little bit early that time. Oh, yellow flag again. Finally got the hairpin down. Alright, starting to gain on some people. Let's get some positions back up. Got a lot of race left ahead of us. Whoops. Oh my goodness, I just no grip left in that front left. I must have turned accelerated tire wear on or something, because well, I am being hard on the tires. I know that for a fact. I could feel flat spots starting to form after the formation lap. Hey, that's not the pylon I hit. I definitely need to make that front left last. I really can't be pitting this early. I got nothing for traction going into the fountain section. Oh, jeez. Yellow flag on the hairpin again. Still gaining on the back of the pack there. Okay. Let's anticipate that a little bit more this time. My front left tire will thank me. Whew, it is really, really worn. Just a hint late in the brakes there. Starting to feel that front tire traction loss in that corner as well. Yellow flag again. It's really wide around the outside. Thank you very much. I think that might have been Marcus Ericsson. Sorry for the lack of commentary, just really concentrating here, especially with that front left tire being as slippery as it is. Just trying to nurse that tire as much as possible. Hey, no yellow on the hairpin this time. Oh, well, I think that guy hit the wall. I really wanted to get on the throttle right next to him there so I could actually race him down the line, but I just wasn't confident in my traction or what he was doing. There we go, another position. Oh man, this guy's racing me hard. Formula D into the, oh man. That was Marcus Ericsson, confirmed. But that I passed earlier is why I say that. That was really, really crazy. I almost made it stick, but just the exit out of the hairpin just got a little bit out of shape there. I mean, I was out of shape through that whole section. But almost pulled it off. Oh man, I just got no traction left. I'm gonna be the first person to pit if I pit now. Oh, jeez. Okay. Now I need to pit. I think that's a good amount of fuel. No, I need in there. Jeez. Oh, okay. I hope the AI are as hard on the tires as I am. I wouldn't be surprised if they just crank the fuel in the AI and they're gonna do a no stop race. So hopefully they pit retires at some point. Alright, here we go. Lap down now. Cold tires, cold tires. I know I'm getting a blue flag, but I need to start unlapping myself. Just in case they don't start coming into the pits. Didn't even make it to halfway through the race before needing tires. I was gonna try and stretch it right until halfway through the race, because while I was definitely struggling with the car a lot more, I hadn't lost a whole bunch of pace. I definitely lost some. No, I'm not arguing that one bit. It was definitely slowing me down, but not a good way to treat my brand new tires. Come on, get through the chicane. Come on, come on, come on. Don't touch the wall, don't touch the wall. Oh my goodness. This is not good. These are really not good. I can get some water in me. Oh man. That's essentially a race over for me there. What time are we at? 12:30. I'll go for a little longer, but another accident I'm gonna have to call quits because I gotta get to Easter dinner tonight. I'd like to really spend a lot of time with AMS2 because I don't want to spoil anything, but that particular mod is freaking phenomenal. Alright, here we go. At least we got to duke it out with some traffic at least. These cars are just so slippery. I really want to know how they compare to the paid versions of the car. I'm sure the paid version is better, because I've heard nothing but good things about it. And not that these are bad. These are, in fact, quite good, but I just feel like there's nowhere near the grip these cars could have. It's almost like as if the track were dusty. Excuse me. Halfway through the race. Man, is he going slow through that corner. I know that car's a lap ahead of me, but he's really holding me up right now. That contact. I can't blame on him being too slow, because I think I braked a bit late that time. Well, hey, Tori. There's a dog in here with me.
Look, Tori, watch, Tori.
Brief visit from the dogs and the fiance. Sounds like we're gonna try and leave a little earlier for Easter dinner. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, if things go completely awry here, which I mean they already have technically, then I'm gonna call R2 quits and move on to AMS2. So I can get done a little sooner and go have some delicious ham. All in all, though, this... I can't remember what I was saying before. I had a furry friend come pay me a visit. I don't even know if my dog showed up on camera, but all of a sudden I just saw a little fuzzball next to me. with enough time with setting up the car, I mean, I did modify the setup a little bit from the baseline, just a little bit last night before getting ready to race this morning. It was stupid slippery before modifying it, and it's still quite slippery. I think if I spent enough time with the setup, I think I could get it to feel pretty good. But out of the box, ignoring the physics of NASCAR Racing 2003, straight out of the box, not counting the setup whatsoever, I would say that this is the worst handling one of the three, straight out of the box. With the little bit of setup changes I've done, I would say it's a notch above the NASCAR Racing 2003, and I know I adjusted the setup there as well. But the physics engine for NASCAR Racing 2003 is not meant for open wheel cars. Whereas RF2's physics engine is one of the best. Which I guess with that in mind, it kind of has me leaving wanting a little bit more from RF2. Yeah, I think we're going to have to retire from this race. This is, I'm so far behind. It was fun, though. Admittedly. Quite fun. But in reality, the main thing I want to do is just get to AMS2, because I seriously can't wait to drive that car, because it is so good. It's literally because of that mod that I decided to do this stream, because it is so good. So, R2. Let's pick this up a little higher. R2, what do we got? That formation lap was way better than NASCAR Racing 203, so we did get a yellow flag, so I don't know how to rank it on that. The tire model, always fantastic. And R2, definitely a point for it there. AI are fairly good here, apart from them crashing into the hairpin. So I'll give it a point for the AI, because they, one thing I've always found with R2, the AI race fairly human-like, with a big asterisk next to that, because there are some caveats to that I've seen in R2, but here they were doing mostly not bad, with one exception, which I'll point out in a moment. And I already talked about tires for the tire model, but the contact, or the sound of the tires losing grip, you can hear it constantly, unlike NASCAR Racing 2003. So it's really easy to tell when you're losing traction. Grasping at straws here, just because I feel bad not giving it at least as many points as NASCAR 2003 for the positives, but the fact that there is a free mod out there, even when there is paid content as well, just the fact that someone's gone out and made a free mod to boot, even though I think this came out before the paid version. Either way, it's good that there's an option out there. Okay, negatives. This car is way too slippery. And then the other negative is the AI constantly hitting the inside of that hairpin on the last corner of the lap. So I'll give it another negative for that. But overall, that puts it 1 point ahead of NR2s and 3. So here we go for a backwards upside down 3, not too bad. And retired. Because I fell way behind. Okay. Moving on. I wasn't sure if the game was actually going to exit there for a second. Okay. Oh, and I have to make one change here. Because AMS2 is just... I actually have it set up for this, so swapping out the round wheel for the formula wheel. Which I need to restart my wheelbase for that to work because I have the F1 wheel turned into advanced mode. So it won't recognize it in game until the wheel is restarted. So I'm just going to mute the microphone while that restarts itself. Okay, we're back. If I had tested streaming this game with VR, I would definitely be doing this in VR because it is something. Hopefully I can get the game back into the foreground. There we go. Hopefully we can actually get to the end of a race here. I mean, I got about 2/3 through the race on R factor 2 at least. So that 85 laps that I had promised, I should have had a big asterisk next to that because... Excuse me. Switching between different racing sims and physics engines and whatnot. Oops, no, that's not what I want. There we go. Let's get the correct wheel loaded. Let's let the Madness engine shine here a little bit. Let's turn some weather effects on. I think that'll be good. This time I have mandatory pit stop turned on, so at least the AI will pit at least once. And man, oh man, is this game good. with this mod. Like, this is... Man, I'm hyping it up before I've even showed you guys, but it is... The modders for this car, they really, really outdid themselves. Sorry for the barking in the background. The connection to the server timed out. What the heck? Oh, there we go. I'm just going to skip right to the qualifying session so we can get right into it. And at least on this game, this track is official content. So the track itself is modeled incredibly well. And I know that this game enforces the blend line. Ooh, okay. Instantly, this feels so good. Whether it's more realistic than RF2, I don't know, but in terms of the feeling of the way it drives, it is hitting all the right notes. Whoops. I think the damage is a little bit more unforgiving here. I don't know what the damage is set to. I was trying to find it before launching the race. It's probably what 100% damage in RF2 would have been like. This is another one where the pit crew animations are just phenomenal. Well, when they're doing tire changes and refueling and stuff anyways. There's nothing being shown for repairs. Oh, but the sounds. Man, the sound effects are absolutely incredible here as well. Alright. See if I can actually get a decent qualifying time in here. generally I don't care much for head physics in games, in racing games, but when you're not playing in VR on this game, admittedly, it really adds something. Just like the way the driver's head leans into the corners and translates the bumps in the track. Let's not touch that wall again. We're running out of time to set a good lap here. That is a tight corner. This car doesn't have the steering radius or the turning radius is what I'm trying to say of the other couple mods. Got a bit of a leg spike there, just as I was getting into the braking zone. Man, I really need to change my approach on that hairpin because I just can't get around the corner. Whoa, jeez. Oh, man. I think I'm gonna be starting from the back row. Which one is... That's it. I'm going to give myself one flying lap. One flying lap. And that's it. See if I can get through the hairpin. There we go. There was a little bit more steering angle that I wasn't making use of. Dang it. Well, I said one flying lap and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Starting from the back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through a race intact. Let me tell you, combination of fragile open wheel cars and street circuits, not my strongest suit, that's for sure. And this formation lap, I remember from my testing, it doesn't work as well as it should. As you saw, that one car that was just unable to get through the fountain. They're supposed to be in front of me. Now they're finally in front of me. Last time I tested, that one car that got stuck in the fountain section never did catch up to me on the formation lap. And because it gets so spread out, we're going to get the race start all the way back here. And they are really, really slow off the start. Oh my goodness. Full course yellow. Didn't even make it to the starting line. And we got a yellow flag. Are they gonna catch up to the other cars? I guess it's maybe not a safety car, just a full course yellow. In terms of simulating racing itself, like the rules of the racing, I kind of feel like AMS2 does a pretty good job of that. Like with the mandatory pit stops, racing is at the end of this lap, okay. And then the warnings for crossing of the blend line when exiting the pits, and all that kind of stuff. That is a tight, tight corner. Okay. Oh. End of the next lap. So it was end of this lap for the cars that were already across the line. And now this guy caught up to the back of the grid, which I guess makes sense. Safety car, play it cool until the caution's clear. Now push to get caught up to the field for the restart. Although we're not all bunched up yet. Okay. We're going to use push to pass. Holy sh... It's raining. Not yet. Maybe I was a little early on that that call, but we'll see if it pays off. They're doing damaged pairs also. Oh, well, that rain's coming down harder now. I think that was a good choice to switch to the wets. I cannot see where I'm going. Man, it's really coming down. Man, the arrow screen without a wiper blade really makes it challenging. I just remembered I have push to pass to use. Now I'm curious. I wonder, does IndyCar actually use push to pass in the rain in real life? Because I know F1 disables DRS. Whoa, is that ever slippery? And that, admittedly, this doesn't feel drastically different from what our Factor 2 felt like in the dry. see the drying line actually on the track. That's pretty cool. Despite seeing the drying line, considering how hard the rain's coming down, I certainly too soon to switch back to dry. Not a lot of grip breaking into that corner. There's so much standing water on that straightaway. Sort of like the front straightaway in up in Edmonton at Castle Raceway. That front straightaway it holds so much water. Starting to see some light poking through those clouds. Maybe the track will start to dry up soon. Oh man, I imagine the painted lines at Long Beach in the rain would be an absolute nightmare in real life. It gets so slippery when it's raining. I feel like I'm not feeling a difference between where the lines are painted and just the regular bare asphalt. I don't know if that's something that's simulated in any of the sims. If anyone does it, I bet you RF2 does, but oh boy. Just a small little bump. I don't think I hurt the car too bad. Just constantly around that 10-second behind mark, or that 10-second behind my fastest lap. Yeah, it's 10 seconds behind my fastest lap. Man, if I had the AI set like 93, I was outpacing them. And at 95 or whatever I set it to, I haven't seen them in so long. Not that I'd be able to see them with how wet the track is. I'd just be lost in the spray. Whew, standing water coming out of that corner. And I know going into that braking zone there's lots of standing water too. Blue flag. Oh my goodness. Am I seriously that far off the pace? Here I was thinking I was the hero by pitting early for wets. As soon as I saw some raindrops coming, obviously it wasn't enough. man. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, wow. The cars are just so fragile in this. I mean, I know it's an open wheel car, but I always was under the impression that Indy cars are a little bit more robust than F1 cars, but that was... I mean, my suspension did not even touch the wall. And my steering is just completely foobar. I'm not sure how I feel about that in terms of AMS2. If I were doing this again, if I could find the setting for damage intensity, I would definitely dial it back a little bit. Almost halfway through the race. Almost halfway through the race. Rain's starting to die off a little bit, it looks like. I don't know what the rain is doing on my windscreen. Still a fair bit of standing water by the looks of it. I'll probably be pitting pretty soon for dry weather tires. Oh man, I'm sorry. The oops, crossed that blend line a little early. The graphics in this game just somewhat spoiled by cars clipping through you when coming out of the pit lane. But having the clear windscreen, just the spray from the cars on the wet track. There's a definite ooh, some puddles there. A definite dry line starting to form. That hairpin turn, I tell you, it's incredibly tight. The steering ratio just isn't as quick as it is in RF2 or NASCAR 2003 for that matter. Okay, it's time to get those dry weather tires on. That drying line is quite noticeable now. And since I'm by myself on track, I shouldn't need to deviate from the drying line. I have to admit, despite the sound effects and the animations being incorrect for IndyCar in NASCAR Racing 2003, I think I kind of got a argue that the pit stop animations are better. Another time penalty. I don't know where the timing line is on the way in. I know where it is on the way out, at least. I think the pit animation really shines when you're in VR. You can actually turn your head and look around at what they're doing. But there's no sound effects for the tire changes and stuff. And I suppose I do have some of the AI pit crew members disabled just for saving on the graphics end of things a little bit. Oh, wow. Yeah, no. I deserve that. I crossed that lead line big time. Completely forgot about the blend line rules in AMS2. I mean, I shouldn't forget about them. I usually try to follow them regardless of whether the sim enforces it or not, because cross that line, you're cutting into traffic, you're just asking for an accident. In this situation, there actually even was traffic coming. Still a little slippery through there. May have been a little early on the call to switch back to the alternates. There's the line. I just saw it that time. Dogs are freaking out again. What do we got? Halfway through the race. Okay. It'd be nice to actually finish one of the races. I enjoy driving this, even though I am so far back because of the accident with the hairpin and the really wide steering angle of this car, and just barely being able to make it through there. The weather was a cool little shake up to the race, though. Still a little standing water there. Okay, watch that blend line. There we go. Whoa! Okay. Oh, man. At what point do you call it? I don't think today's my day. That was a lot of fun, though. I think I'm gonna have to call it here. I mean, I do need to get going. So. Okay. I should have left the AI difficulty where I had it before for AMS2, because at 93 I was able to race with them. And I wish I could tip the camera down. Oops, sorry, bumped the microphone. I wish I could tip it down a little further. So for the positives, for AMS2, big plus for the graphics, another big plus for the weather effects. I was going to give one for the pit crew animations, but they're surprisingly not as good as NASCAR 2003. However, if I had the opponent pit lane pit crew turned on as well, I think it would be there. And being in VR really makes it that much cooler being able to look around. So you know what? Just because I know how cool it is, I'm just going to give it one more. admitting that it's not as... Okay, here's the trade-off. It's not as good as the animation in NASCAR 2003, but it is accurate to IndyCar, so there we go. There's my justification for giving it a point. Oh man, the road feel is out of this world in this car. It feels so good. And the yellow flag restarts are pretty good here as well. I wish it was a full safety car like it is in NASCAR 2003. That would make it that much better. But, oh, now, just now the AI is coming in to get rid of their rain tires. So yeah, I was definitely a little early on the call. Wow. 5 positive things to say about each of them, so overlapping from one to the other. Negatives. The initial starting procedure, a little bit of a mess, admittedly. And apart from my poor driving, and me not being used to the not as tight steering ratio, I think I can't say much else negative about this. This is pretty fantastic. There are some other issues with AMS2 that I didn't encounter here that I know kind of pop up in longer races, so that's getting a... Oh boy, trying to do this upside down. A 4. Retired here, but AMS2 gets the win there, I'd say. I didn't get any wins because I couldn't even finish a race. Alright, I better get going. Have a happy Easter, everybody. Definitely give at least one of these a try. They're all fun. NASCAR Racing 2003 can be downloaded for free. I think abandonware is kind of a legal gray area, so don't blame me if something bad happens. But like I said, as far as I know, it's abandonware. No one owns the rights to it. So my understanding is that it's perfectly legal to do, but don't quote me on it. Either way, there's lots of free links to download that and other abandonware racing games out there, and it's not bad. Not as good as the other two, though. If you have AMS2 or RF2, definitely worth giving these mods a try, and probably worth trying the DLC for RF2 for the IndyCar. I think I might try that one day, but maybe I'll wait for a sale or something. Alright, catch you later, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, those who tuned in.